Well, hello again. I just thought I'd make a couple more comments about this video, this latest Apollo Detectives video by Ben Emlyn-Jones. Of course, these four couldn't detect their own backsides with both hands and a very large mirror. But he's called the video 50 Years on the Moon, not allegedly 50 years on the moon or supposedly 50 years on the moon, but 50 years on the moon. Anyway, it was excruciating drivel from start to finish. Nothing but opinions from laymen who have no idea what they're looking at. They have zero photographic analysis ability. But there's a couple of things I missed because I sort of skipped through it. It was excruciating, as I say, to watch. But I thought it might be worth commenting on this.
Right, well, on Thursday, in 2 days' time, right, this is going out...
So unfortunately this has already happened.
After this will have happened, but in 2 days' time from the live broadcast, live recording, I'm going to take part in an Apollo debate.
Oh, they do debate sometimes. Wow.
Sorry?
He seriously thinks the debate is going to be with NASA.
They do debate us sometimes.
Well, I don't know if the person I'll be debating with is actually very pro-NASA, but he is an
Well, that's hardly going to be a debate then, is it?
astronomer. He's had 30 years' experience as an astronomer, so I've got a lot of questions for him. But the idea is that we'll have a debate. I'll present my case, 45 minutes. He'll present his case for 45 minutes. Are you trying to rubbish me?
Well, that shouldn't be very difficult.
We get 20 minutes to question each other, and then we get the audience questions after that, which seems a bit unfortunate that the audience don't get to question us earlier. So we're doing that on Thursday. That'll be fun. That's up in London at Camden, the Parents' Castle at Camden.
See, they love all this microfame stuff. I'm presenting this, I'm debating somebody. Yeah, it's all this microfame codswallop.
Looks great fun. I haven't been there before.
Unfortunately, in a Hammer show, otherwise I'd come and join you.
And Ben jumps in, I'm doing a Hapanwo show. Of course, he runs Hapanwo television, so he could change the time of the show to any time he likes. I'm there again. I'm going to be on their screens again. So I can't join you, Marcus. I'm just so busy, and I'm so popular, and I'm so micro-famous that I'm going to have to do my Hospital Porters TV video.
Well, you should do.
Is that a televised thing, Marcus, or what is it?
It's a televised debate. As if a television network would be remotely interested in anything Marcus Allen has to say.
It's going to be recorded. It's not been set up specifically as a television event.
A live television event, yeah, right. I record it as a bit of filler.
But it'll be recorded, similar to the way you recorded at Dreaming Saucers. Just one camera, that's all you need to get the information, because, you did a good job, Neil did a good job on that one as well.
Yeah, all you need is one camera, and you can record Marcus Allen saying Werner von Braun and co. were the Germans that got America to the moon, and making other comments about pictures of Neil Armstrong and Buzz Aldrin being taken in the command module before they even reached the moon. Comments like that. It really is quite funny.
Well,
Did they say anything about the zigzag production?
I haven't heard anything about the transmission date. Yeah, that's the zigzag production. That's what Trevor and I were both
You're going to be calculating how much transmission power they're going to be using, Marcus.
interviewed for. It's about 3 or 4 months ago, wasn't it? We were interviewed. And it's supposed to be put up there for somewhere around the anniversary, which will be around the 20th of July. And
Well, the anniversary of what? The 20th of July. What's that the anniversary of, Marcus?
the HBO Vice people have got back in touch with me again, saying they want to interview me on camera. It'll be about 8 or 10 minutes, which will go into the programme.
Looking at him, I'd say you better get on with it, guys.
Randy Walsh in Canada is also being interviewed by them. I don't know if Bart is as well. They say it's going to be a sympathetic portrayal Knowing mainstream media, they don't do sympathetic portrayals, so I'm fully expecting to be taken to the cleaners. Well,
that won't be difficult. I could take you to the cleaners in 2 minutes, Mr. Allen. He's standing on my head whilst listening to heavy metal music.
Try to, Marcus. They will try to. They
will try to, but look, I'm old enough and ugly enough, and I've been around the block enough times to know exactly what to say. So,
yeah, he's old enough and ugly enough to know exactly what to say. And what he says is, he'll put forward, somewhat ridiculous opinion of his, and he'll say, well, I think that's an anomaly. You prove me wrong. That's all he ever says. Now, no one has. I don't think anybody's ever said to him that the onus of proof is on the claimant. You're making this claim. You prove you're right. I don't see any proof that you're right here. He will tell you that the film would evaporate. Well, ask him if you're going to debate this guy. Ask him if he's ever had a film formulated with exactly the same formula that Eastman Kodak used, because they made a special film for the moon mission, and get a Hasselblad camera, modify it in exactly the same way, same model, modify it in exactly the same way, put the film in the camera, put it in a vacuum, try and get the temperature as close as possible to the sort of temperatures that will be involved, because remember there's plus or minus, around zero there, so minus quite a lot and plus quite a lot. And then film that and then show us that film evaporating. Have you ever done that, Mr. Allen, to prove your point? Got a film with exactly the same formula, camera with exactly the same modifications, the same model, put the film in the camera, put it in a vacuum, and filmed the emulsion on the film evaporating. Have you ever done that to prove your point? Of course, he hasn't. He'll talk about lighting on the moon. Of course, the pictures from NASA show the lighting on the moon. It's his opinion that the lighting on the moon would be different. You would have to go to the moon and replicate the scene to prove him wrong. It's a bit like me saying, yeah, I went to the moon yesterday afternoon. Prove me wrong. And he knows that. Everything this man says is rubbish. He knows it's rubbish. And I've posted clips of him saying Von Braun and co. were the Germans that got America to the moon. If you debate this guy, ask him why he would make a comment like that. He's made comments about the lunar module power supply and the transmission power, and that it would be impossible to get television pictures from the moon back to the Earth. He doesn't offer any evidence. He doesn't say, well, this is what the transmitter power was on the lunar module. These were the frequencies they were using. This is the antenna gain they were using on the lunar module, on the transmitter. This is the antenna gain of the receiver at Parkes, Australia. This is the path loss. So this is the level of signal they would have received. And it's not possible. He doesn't show any of that stuff. Because if he did, it would show that that it is possible. I actually posted some information from NASA that tell us it was a 20-watt transmitter. It tells us what frequencies they were using. It tells us what the antenna gain was. So you can calculate the radiated power from the lunar module. You know what the gain of the receive antenna is. You can calculate the path loss over that distance. And you come up with a figure. And that figure tells you, easily possible. It worked. Marcus Allen gives his opinion on things he knows nothing about. He doesn't understand any of this stuff. So just ask him, if you debate this guy, just ask him what calculations he did to prove that the live television pictures couldn't be received on Earth from the moon. Ask him what transmitter power they used. Ask them what frequencies they used. Ask them what the transmitter antenna gain. Ask him what the transmitter antenna gain was. Ask him what the receiver antenna gain was. And then ask him what his path loss calculations are. He's done nothing to prove any of these ridiculous claims. He then said, ridiculous story about a radio ham listening into the S-band comms, or the microwave comms, and that's not what was happening, of course. The radio ham was listening to the VHF high-band comms. He said radio hams only operate on long wave. Offered no evidence for that. It's just his opinion. He knows nothing about it. He's just pulled that out of thin air. So if you debate this guy, ask him what evidence he has that radio hams only operate on long wave. And I posted the call sign of the radio ham that actually received the transmissions. The guy is still alive. Collins Radio Company in America that made all the communications equipment for the Apollo missions actually invited him up there and had a chat with him, gave him some sort of certificate. So whenever you see this guy, if you ever debate this guy, ask him some of those questions. I showed that radio hams have frequencies in bands right across the radio spectrum, from long wave right the way through to microwaves, VHF, UHF. There's all sorts of modes of transmissions. They bounce signals off the moon. According to Marcus Allen, ham radio operators only operate on long wave. He's talking absolute rubbish. Anything you hear from this guy is rubbish. Just put a line through it. But if you do get the opportunity, if that's the right word, to debate this guy, ask him those questions. Make sure you get him on camera too. Marcus Allen. All right, and I'll just see if there's any more clips worth including in this. Well, in the previous clip, I mentioned that Marcus Allen tells us that, the television pictures, it was impossible to send the live television pictures from the moon to the Earth. Lunar module didn't have enough power. The film would evaporate, and some of the scenes are too well lit. As I said before, these are all just his opinions. He offers zero evidence to support any of this, as is true for anything else. I mean, Scott Henderson, the chef, says that the spacesuits would not protect the astronauts from solar and cosmic radiation, but that's his opinion. He offers no evidence to support that. He doesn't find out what the 21 layers of material used in the spacesuit were actually made of. How much attenuation would they or how transparent were they to cosmic and solar radiation? There's no calculations showing, what these materials, how transparent or opaque they are to solar and cosmic radiation. He doesn't present any of that for each layer, and then for the whole 21 layers combined. There's no measurements. He's done no experiments. He's looked at it and given his opinion, the opinion of a chef, and it's worthless. None of these people offer any evidence whatsoever. None of them. So this, I think, we'll finish with this, because this sort of says it all, really.
Exactly, yeah. So how's things going at Nexus magazine?
Oh, it's going brilliantly at the moment. Yeah, we've had...
Yes, lots of gullible half-wits out there forking out cash for absolute drivel.
That extract in the previous issue, we had the extract from Randy Walsh's book, An Apollo Hoax Hidden in Plain Sight. And we've got a follow-up letter, and even yours truly got a letter published in Nexus in this current issue.
Yeah.
Basically asking NASA to front up and stop being so stupid and get real, otherwise we'll never get back into space.
And of course NASA hang on Marcus Allen's every syllable. Yeah, okay. Marcus Allen is asking NASA to admit they faked the moon landings. Yes, okay. After offering zero evidence, of course, that that's true.
Well, exactly. And this is, as I said on previous shows, it's the 50th anniversary. It's an informational choke point where, it's a put up or shut up sign for all of us, including ourselves and NASA. And
yes, very well said, Ben. Exactly. Put up or shut up. So this guy has put up zero. He's just given lots and lots of ridiculous opinions on stuff he knows nothing about, and he's talking out of his backside. That can be very easily proven with most of it. These other guys, actually Scott Henderson is not there today, but put a line through Scott Henderson. He offers zero evidence. Ben Emlyn-Jones offers zero evidence that the moon landings were faked. So, as you quite rightly said, Ben, put up or shut up. Either show us some tangible evidence that the moon landings were faked, or kick this bloody rubbish into touch. Stop listening to people like this who've got absolutely no bloody idea what they're talking about. Put up or shut up. Let's hope this is the last we see of these Apollo defectives. Let's see if you stick to your word, Ben. Put up or shut up. And I don't mean people giving unsupported, ridiculous opinions on pictures. Tangible evidence. Do some experiments. Show us what you're saying is true. Of course, if they did any experiments, they will be shown to be completely wrong. It's just people giving opinions. You are not putting up. You are not putting up. Put up or shut up. Marcus Allen. Put up or shut up. Ben Emlyn-Jones. Same with the other two guys, or the other three guys, whatever. I'm not going to go through all of them. It'd be a waste of time. You get the picture. Absolute bloody rubbish. Put up or shut up. Okay, with that, many thanks for watching, and perhaps I'll catch you again.